Good night. Uh, this is my presentation of trade agreements. My name is Steven Peña. The commercial agreement. A commercial agreement is a pact or negotiation between two or more countries in order to harmonize interests in trade and increase exchange between the signature parties. The trade agreement can be more or less complex, depending on whether or not the signature countries decide to delegate part of their sovereignty to supranationality body and submit to its control in matters of economic policy, including trade policy, in case there is some kind of assignment of sovereignty. We would talk about economic integration. The importance. The importance of trade agreements is based on the impulse they offer to the country's industry. Since they promote preferential access to new markets under a clear and long-term regulation that expands the universe of potential buyers and increases the factors of competitiveness of exporters competing openly in the markets requires the entrepreneur to increase their productivity, reduce production costs, and manufacture differentiated and innovative products. What kind are the different forms of integration? Free trade area. In this case, tariff barriers to merchandise trade between member countries are eliminated, but each country retains its own trade policy so that certain types of barriers are preserved. There are certain limitations imposed by the rules of origin. Only the free circulation of merchandise that has been produced complete, completely or in a high percentage in any of the member countries is permitted. Economic and monetary union culminated in 2002 with the entry into circulation of the euro. To the characteristics of the single market would have to add greater integration and coordination in different areas such as foreign policy and justice. Customs Union. The EU, the CEE, achieved this goal in 1968. The UA is characterized by the creation of the common tariff against the rest of the world. At the same time, tariffs are eliminated among member countries. In addition to goods, this type of integration includes service as an object of trade. As a consequence, the member countries must agree on the elaboration of a common customs legislation. Single market. It supposes the suppression of all barriers to trade, tariff and non-tariff. Continue with a TAC in front of the rest of the world. Elimination of barriers to the free circulation of capital and workers within the area included in the single market. All this entails of coordination of some economic policies such as transport competition, social cohesion, and taxation. In the EU, this process is materialized thanks to the Single European Act, which begins in 1987 and ends in 1993. The CAN, the Indian Community, is today a subregional organization with international legal personality composed of Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. On September 20, in 2006, through decision 645 on the Council of Foreign Ministers and the Commission, Chile was granted the status of an associate member country of the Indian Community. Likewise, the states parties of Mercosur, Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay hold the status of associate members since July 7, 2005, provided with Decision 613. The Free Trade Agreement consists of a regional or bilateral trade agreement to expand the market of goods and services between participating countries from different con- continents or basically around the world. This consists of the elimination or substantial reduction of tariffs for goods between the parties and the agreements on service. This agreement is governed by the rules of the World Trade Organization or by mutual agreement between the countries. This ALCA, the Free Trade Area of the Americas, or was the official name of the multilateral free trade agreement signed in Miami during the 1994 Summit of the Americas, which covers all the countries of the Americas, with the exception of Cuba. The FTAA should begin to function after the Fourth Summit of the Americas held in Mar del Plata in 2005, but in that meeting increases at the point that many are considered as a deep project. CARICOM. It is an organization of 15 Caribbean nations and British dependents The full members are Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Belize, Dominica, Grenada, Guayana, Jamaica, Montserrat, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Saint Lucia, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, the British Virgin Islands, the islands Turks and Caicos or associate members. Its main activities include the coordination of economic policies and development, planning, the elaboration and institution of special projects for the less developed countries within its jurisdiction. It functions as the single regional market for many of its members and the solution of regional commercial disputes. Mercosur is regional integration process founded in 1991 by Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay. In latter phases, Mercosur has incorporated Venezuela and Bolivia, with the former currently suspended from the bloc and the latter in the process of accession. Headquarters of Mercosur in Montevideo, Uruguay. Officially, Mercosur also reports the Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Guyana, and Suriname make up the bloc as associate states, and the Mexico and New Zealand are observed states. The official Mercosur map includes the six countries and mentioned in the first paragraph and defines them as states parties. Advantages: these international trade agreements contribute to a country, as in this case Colombia, the advantages at their entrepreneurs can sell their products and services abroad in better conditions without paying taxes, tariffs, and without being subject to other barriers, something that yes it is necessary to pay in case of not having these traits. TLC United States Colombia. This helps the national economy of country to grow, as it is has a much wider consumer market than when it is limited to its entrepreneurs to sell in the national market. Therefore, free trade is considered positive because the lack of trade barriers makes exporting easy and relatively cheap. Another positive point is that there are free trade agreements that force the partner country to give better working conditions to its workers, often exploited. Disadvantages: on the other hand, the elimination of international trade barriers can open within some national industries a very complicated competition to sustain some international markets are not at the same level as the national industry and are able to produce a certain form of product cheaper than in many Latin countries, being the case of China, a very prominent when we talk about labor costs. As such, this surplus merchandise floods the local market at much cheaper price and essentiality comes to dominate that industry. In other words, in practice, FTAs are more convenient of large companies than other entrepreneurs with few resources. Another use criticized by experts is that strong competition can lead to practice of anything goes on uses such as pollution to be competed with other countries but emerging countries that ignore the environment. Thanks.